Здравствуйте. Время 15:00. Давайте будем начинать. Поэтому сразу перейду к нашему традиционному инфоблоку. Это новости сферы образования от нашего центра. 26 января в 14:30 по московскому времени будет вебинар «Естественно, научная грамотность. Путь к успеху». Какие вопросы будут обсуждаться на вебинаре, мы для вас представили на данном слайде. И также оставляю ссылочку для регистрации. Город вечно живых. Всероссийский открытый урок расскажет школьникам о снятии советскими войсками блокады Ленинграда, которая длилась 872 дня. Чтобы присоединиться к эфиру, который состоится 27 января в 12:00 по московскому времени, вам необходимо будет зайти в сообщество Министерства просвещения Российской Федерации ВКонтакте. Ссылочка на их страничку здесь для вас на слайде также представлена. Онлайн-кафе «64 зерна» 28 января в 2 часа дня. Приглашаем вас присоединиться к вебинару «Создание увлекательных интерактивных упражнений и мини-игр с помощью онлайн-сервиса WordWall». Ссылка для регистрации также представлена на данном слайде. Конкурс для учителей физкультуры. Для того, чтобы необходимо будет подготовить визитную карточку, портфолио, видеозапись и эссе «Педагогический взгляд в будущее». В каких номинациях можно принять участие? Этапы конкурса также для вас подробно расписали на данном слайде. Для более подробной информации о том, как принять участие, как заявиться, необходимо будет перейти по ссылочке, скачать положение и уже определиться со своим участием и подать заявку в указанные сроки. И напоследок хотим предложить вам подборку любопытных блогеров, на которых можно подписаться для вдохновения и внесения разнообразия в свою рабочую практику. На данном слайде для вас кликабельные ссылки на аккаунты в Instagram и описание, чем занимается и чем будет интересен тот или иной педагог. Поэтому, пожалуйста, после вебинара вы сможете зайти на наш сайт в раздел «ПрофСреда» и по всем ссылочкам пройтись и посмотреть. Если все-таки для вас будет полезен опыт данных педагогов, подписаться, мы будем очень рады, если для вас будет это полезно. И, конечно же, напоминаю о том, что у нас есть аккаунты в соцсетях, у нас есть YouTube-канал, куда мы размещаем все видеозаписи с наших семинаров и вебинаров, поэтому, пожалуйста, подписывайтесь, мы будем рады видеть вас в числе наших подписчиков. А сейчас передаю слово Евгении Павловне. Добрый день.
Добрый день. Добрый день всем. Слышно хорошо меня?
Отлично.
Ага, спасибо. So, shall we start? I move straight to English because it feels like a bit more comfortable for me right now. But again, as I said the last time, you can use both English and Russian. It's up to you. Okay, again, first, I will ask you, how do you feel? How are you feeling today? Honestly, I don't feel really well. I have a little flu today, so I'm sorry for my voice. So in the chat, write a couple of words of how are you today? And I'm switching on our presentation. So in the chat, Dmitry Fomenko, you feel great. That's wonderful. I'm happy for you, really. So what about others? And you are texting how you feel, and at the same time, please text if you see the presentation, if you see the first slide. In a good mood. Me too. I am in a really good mood. Yeah. And I see that there are less people today, but still quite a lot of us together. Great. Wonderful. So I start with the last slide. I start with the last slide of that week presentation. It was the homework. And even if you are not ready with the homework today, you won't get bad marks, definitely. Maybe you will improvise, yeah. And I hope that today our techniques won't let us down, and everything will be fine, and we will be able to work in small groups and to share with each other different techniques, different life hacks, different little games that we use on our lessons. But before that, I'd like to start sharing. I'd like to have my contribution, and I want to mention some things that I think are, well, they might be useful, just like that. And we start with the state exam. And so this year I have the 11th grade, and I'm sure that many of you do. And this year I use quite a lot these books. Maybe you heard about them, maybe not. I have blah blah blah, sorry, I have the oral part and the writing tasks, and here you see the Instagram of this center, and you can find them on Facebook, in VK, so everywhere. And they're really good in exam preparations because they present the material really well. They have wonderful materials, actually. Maybe you heard about them, so let's see. Presentation is not scrolling, says us. You can't. Sorry that I don't check the chat. An advertisement minute. So a really good series of materials for exam preparation. If you are interested, you can find it in Instagram or elsewhere in the internet. So I need to check the chat. Yeah, great, you see it. Wonderful. So it was the first thing I wanted to share. So can you see it? About course book and lessons. Just a little bit of tips from, so I'm really sorry, I don't know how to pronounce correctly the surname of this person because it looks to me absolutely French. Maybe it is Ben Burrett. Maybe it's maybe somebody knows this person. It's a man. He's a teacher of English, and as I know, he helped with the preparation of this year's state exam with the materials. I mean, well, and I watched several videos with this person, and I liked some really good tips. Of course, they are from CELTA, from TESOL, from different courses, but I think that they are really useful. So Sarah, maybe you heard this acronym. It means select, adapt, reject, add. What is it about? It is about course book. It is about course book. It is about the fact that we don't have to follow exactly all the exercises, and definitely I know that probably you already do it. Okay, if not, think about it. So we always need to select some material, then we can adapt to different student levels. Then we might reject something and just not use, and then we can add our own ideas and other materials and different things like that. Just Sarah, wonderful. And I like his tip about balance between seriousness and lightheartedness. It means that we don't have to be very strict because we teach communication, I think, first of all, and we teach English like to use it as a tool. Yeah, and that's why it is very important not to be serious all the time. And the last thing, so we know about pre-listening, pre-reading activities, but he has this idea about pre-lesson activity. And one of the examples is, for example, if you come to the lesson in the classroom a bit earlier, you can chat to students, you can organize some, I don't know, even game, or you can ask them to help you with something. So it means how you build actually rapport, yeah, that we discussed on the last lesson. So, and I think this tip is quite useful. Okay, the next thing I wanted to mention is about, so there are lots of courses for teachers, and you can find lots of information about them on the internet. But this one, I heard about it on my own courses, and some ladies from these courses, they passed. So they had these courses and they had the certificate. And very good thing about this course is that you can have it for free. If you write some kind of motivational letter or something like that, so you can get it for free. All information is on the site. You have it. You can have it in Russian version. So if you are interested, you will read. So you will have this presentation on the site after the webinar. Okay, and the last thing, and this thing leads us to our main activity today. It is the resource pack. So what does this link mean? So I'm sending it to our chat, and actually you can open it already. So like that. And I will show what is in this resource pack right now. So I think that, wait a second. I think that after this webinar, we are going to have this page, how to say, filled with different activities, with descriptions of these activities and things like that. So how I suggest you to do it. So after we have these shows, these small presentations, you go to this page. So it is an example, but you can use it as well. For example, you describe to your colleagues the activity named running dictation. So some of you heard about it, some of you don't. So you have a short description of this activity and some links to some sites if you have any. So I chose two of them. One of them is in English and another one in Russian. So you can read both of them. And then if you have some comments, you write comments about this activity. And the last column, it is your contacts, your email address, if you're ready to share it, so that the colleagues could write you if they need some explanations, okay? So before we start, any questions? Any questions before we start this sharing? So I think I need to remind you once again the homework, because probably you haven't seen it when I was showing the slides. So once again, what we are going to do now. Here it is. So we are going to describe different activities, different links probably. We will work in session rooms if we have this possibility. If not, we will work right here all together, and the bravest people will present their activities to us. So, as there are no questions in the chat, I will ask you. So tell me, please, what are we going to do now? You can say it, or you can write it, or you can text it in our chat. Just to check.
So we should present our homework.
Yeah, you should present some activities that you've prepared, yeah, at home, and discuss them somehow, and share ideas, maybe how to use them and things like that. Yes, you're absolutely right. So so let's start, and I'll be this person who presents the first activity. And probably you definitely heard about it. In Russian, it is called 20 questions. and it is the same in English. You might have heard other names, but we'll play it. So you use the chat. The rules. I think of a person, maybe a real person, maybe imaginary person. We can agree on whether it's a man or woman, or it might be any character like Winnie the Pooh or Shrek or somebody else. So anybody. So I think of this person, and all the others should ask questions. I can say only yes or no. And in 20 questions, you need to guess who I have in mind. So now I'm thinking of, I got the character, this person. So you can start asking questions, and we need somebody to count. So who's ready to count how many questions are asked? So who's a volunteer? Okay, we started already. No, it isn't. It's not an animal.
Is it a real man?
Yes.
Сюда сначала, потом сюда, да?
Да.
Отключить.
Is he Russian?
No.
Is he a celebrity?
Yes, in some kind, yeah. So for questions already?
Is he a singer?
No.
No.
Is he a president of Russia?
No, he isn't. There's a question in the chat. Is he a man from a film? No.
No. Okay. Can we see him in the film, maybe?
Yes.
An actor?
No.
No.
So you didn't ask if, sorry. So no comments. So let's play, and then all the comments are later. No. I already said no, it's not an actor. He isn't a singer.
Is he a politician?
One of a kind. Yes, we can say it. Kind of. So there's a question, is, or we can use some other form of this verb. Yeah.
Is he old or she?
No.
Is
So
he
colleagues,
alive?
no. For a long time, actually. Harry Potter. No, Harry Potter. It's not Harry Potter.
A
So,
scientist? Is he a scientist?
no.
Is he a teacher?
No.
Some
No.
kind of politician. Well,
So I'm not sure that at that time there was such a word, politician. Maybe there was. It's a hint, yeah. So let's continue for a couple of minutes, and then we stop, and I'll tell you the character, the person, and then we'll ask somebody else to present the activity. But a bit of more questions, maybe you'll guess. Okay. Very famous person, very. Well, not famous, but you know, definitely you know this person for sure. Since you were at school, at least. Since the school time, you know about this person. So please, more questions. So there was a question if he's alive. So, and I said, no, now he's not alive anymore. Yeah. A queen. No, as it is a man, it's not a queen. And so, a minister. No. So, well, it is a very famous person. And he lived in, so I'm bad with centuries, but he lived long time ago, and he had a really big empire. And actually once,
Maybe it is a Peter the First. Ah, no.
no, he's not Russian. He's not Russian, but he conquered Russia once.
Napoleon.
Ah,
Is Napoleon.
Napoleon.
So it is Genghis Khan.
Ah,
Yeah, so it works like that. So what you can do with this activity, you can revise the question form, you can revise the grammar tenses, you can revise some vocabulary, or you can just have fun in the end of the lesson or in the beginning of the lesson. So it is like that. It can be a man, it can be a thing even, but you should agree on this. It can be some Marvel character. I'm so sorry. Can I have 1 second, please? Sorry. Okay, so who would like to continue? If you need the screen demonstration, for example, for your activity, so you can use it. So as you had homework, I'm sure that somebody is ready today. So.
Okay, Evgenia, just the such like activity with the questions, yes, no questions, or maybe some special questions when one student comes in front of the class and he or she begins to recite a poem. For example, just any poem he wishes or she wishes. The purpose for him or for him is to finish the poem, and the purpose for other students to ask him as many questions as they can in order he not to finish his poem. For example, where do you live? How many lessons have you got every day? And so on. And he tries, for example, to tell his poem by heart, but some other students try to disturb him, to stop him talking and just ask questions. So so-called brainstorming a lot of questions to him. He stops, answers their questions, and then continue reciting his poem up to the end. And he will win if he will succeed in his reciting.
So, and they know, they should, so everybody knows this poem also. How? This poem should be in English, right?
It doesn't matter. In English,
it doesn't matter. Okay.
yes, preferable to be in English, but in practice, they usually use Russian.
Okay, and he or she has to answer the questions. It's a
yes, special questions, any question. Yes.
Okay. Okay, so thank you. So we can't try it. It is difficult here, but okay, that's nice. So how often do you use it?
Not often, but at the beginning of the lesson, just to warm up, it's for the start.
So, and what age? So for what age it is the best?
Grade 9 up to 11.
So elementary school and the beginning of secondary school, yeah?
Yes, secondary.
4th, 5th grade. Okay, thank Alessia, I'm sorry I don't know your отчество. Sorry.
Just
thank you.
Enough. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, that's a good start. Let's move on. Anybody else? So please, while you are getting ready, tell me please, who uses such a thing as Simon Says game?
Oh,
just put a plus or
my favorite.
Yeah, yeah, I love it either. also.
I also use it, but we use please instead of Simon says. We use the word please with the younger students to be polite and practice.
Yeah, and who knows such a thing as fees buzz? Do you know this activity? No? Okay, so I'm not going to describe it, and it is definitely not online. Because so we should be in the classroom to do it. And in this form that I sent you the link to, I'll put the link with the description of this game. And it is really funny. And you can play with different ages, because I started playing with my students when they were in 5th grade. And then when they were in 8th, they said, will we please play Fizz Buzz? Why not? And we played with them, and in the 8th and in the 9th. Okay, so the next activity, please, because there are too many of us to stay silent.
Sometimes, speak, please. Sorry.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Please, you can start. Елена, you want to?
Sometimes we write collective stories, sentence by sentence. In 11th form or in 10th form, we use writing collecting stories. It was funny for students. Sometimes I use this practice.
So can you describe how to use it? How to use this activity?
I started the story, the beginning of the story. I imagine the beginning of the story, and the students continue the story, writing sentence by sentence after each other. We say in the circle, and they put the sheet of papers by circle. And so by the end of the lesson, we have a lot of different stories, interesting stories.
So it is like Russian чепуха, am I right?
Yes. It
should be quite fun, reading these stories. Yeah, thank you. Very nice activity.
Ой, sorry.
That's okay. We can hear you. It's already great. And now we can see you. That's wonderful. Okay, thank you. Anything else? Anybody else? So, colleagues, those who presented the activity, you can use the link right now and write down the information about your activity, probably. So the name, the description, so that others could read it afterwards and probably use and try to use it at the lessons. Or maybe somebody is filling in this form right now. Let me check. Well, I see that there are quite a lot of people here. 9 people are here using this link right now, but I don't see any changes yet. So I hope we will have them. Anyway, after the webinar is over, you'll still have the access to this link for some time. For example, for today, and tomorrow, and in the evening, I close it, download, and send to put it with the presentation on the site. Okay. So I see some people here. Maybe some of those who have the camera on would like to share some ideas. No. Okay. So I can't believe you, actually. I can't believe that you don't use.
We use a lot of them, Evgenia.
Well, yeah. So
After Simon Says, as for me, I usually use another game as turn around and then turn back. And there are some words on the board, I mean new words for students. I will put them on the board or write flashcards or word cards, and then they turn around and I put away the card and they try to guess, oh, what's missing? No, the game is called What's Missing. But they use this game as turn around, turn back, and they try to guess what has left from
what's changed.
what's changed.
Okay.
So Simon says, yes, so we practice pronunciation. Then the game Mime and Gestures, when I ask them to show me something. I name the word and they show me, they demonstrate with their gestures on mime, but they don't speak in the classroom. Then use such technology, maybe technique I think, when I say, well, dear, and now let's enumerate all of the words in a speed 5 of 10. For example, the maximum speed is 10, but now we use the tortoise speed, the speed of 3, and we read the words very slow. Then the speed, for example, 5 and 10 is the maximum. Then they have they like such an activity. They try to practice it in a very rapid, fluent way. Yeah, and they just enjoy such an activity, and we repeat these words for a lot of time, and during the lesson they know nearly every word from our theme. Simon says what's missing and mime and gestures. Then I can just ask to go to the board, boys and girls will command. For example, boys are in the army and girls, they are commanders, and so and they command just sit on stand, and all of the boys, they listen to the commands and do ask, and then just vice versa, girls come to the board, and so we continue.
So at the end, it's elementary school, right? Because
yes,
yeah.
Even the 5th grade, it's also a lot of new words.
Okay, Alessia, you are a fountainhead of ideas, actually, and that's really great.
Like a box, maybe.
Thank you. Okay. Some techniques of translating short documents, contracts, letters of the college. Okay, so Gulsara, oh sorry, I don't have the full name. You're here. So can you switch on the microphone and tell a little bit about that? You can't switch on the microphone. The microphone? I can help you? No?
Yes, microphone. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Good morning, my dear colleagues.
Hello.
I'm so glad to see you. So, what about I'll say about my work at the lesson, At the lesson,
about some activities that you use.
Activities.
Yeah, different activities. Maybe entertaining.
I like to work with students. To work with students with dialects. The students, our college, like to work only in orally. They don't like to write. They don't like to to come to the board and to have a conversation in written form. You see, they like only in oral. They will translate, and they like to make maybe dialogues, in short dialogues on the same. Yes, of course. And what can I say about? You see, on the after the 9th grade, when they come to our college, you see, it's to my mind, it's very difficult to to make to write, to answer, and they only work at the lesson or what they interested in conversation in orally. You see. Making in short. We take such a short text and we'll analyze and we will make up what the dialogues, questions, and crossword puzzles. You see, I can't work with them, but I can't work with them in so making what to answer to what to I can't make it to work, you see, but in free form they will do all works or dialogues, you see, in the elder, and I give them to work in orally in free form. You see, that's all. I can't just now say that what's there.
So do I get it right that you need to think all the time about some oral kinds of oral activity? Yeah.
Yes, oral activity.
About dialogue, about how about different
dialogues
role
and the themes. Yes.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Okay. Good. So and thank you very much. And colleagues, tell me please. And who uses video? I mean, whose students like making videos, their own videos, maybe in a kind of some projects or something like that. So who has this practice? Who practices it?
I think all modern children like to do it.
Yeah. But children like to do it. But what about you? Do you like it? Do you use it? Do you use this activity? And because, for example, with mine fifth grade, so once we learned a song, and they said, let's put it on TikTok, and it was so I don't use it. That's why I said, so if you do it yourself, please. And they organized themselves, they made a video, they shot a video, they put it on somebody's TikTok, and it was just wow. And on this video they sang the song, and they are very, how to say, independent, and it is a kind of independent studying for them already in the 5th grade. And I think it is just great. Okay, so any other ideas, any other activities? Or actually I have one more thing to share, and I hope so. I know that quite a lot of teachers use this source because it is a source, it's a site, or I call it, it's kind of a platform. So now just if you know the name, put a plus in the chat. And so wait a second, I'll show you what I mean. I'm talking about, wait. I'm talking about, just a second. I'm talking about live worksheets.
Oh, I use
Yeah, yes. So because I think it is very, very resourceful place, and some colleagues and who uploads their own materials on live worksheets, because I know that many people use the materials that are already there, but sometimes I put some of my own there because I can't find something, for example. So how often do you upload materials on sites like that? Do you? Don't you? So maybe somebody
Never.
Hello? Hello?
Never.
Never. Okay, great. So there is such a possibility actually, and you can use it as well, because It is quite easy. So are there any people who never heard of live worksheets and I need to explain how to work it? So do you need an explanation, or I can just put a link and you'll come there and find out everything about it? So say something. So I just want to know how
In
many.
short, you will say in short, please, will you explain it?
In short.
Can you explain it in short? you will
Okay,
say.
okay. So, for example, you type something. Okay, for example, you need to find some materials on reported speech. You type reported speech, click on a search, and it shows you different worksheets about reported speech. So let's try this, for example. So we open it. So how it works. So straight away, look, link to this worksheet. You can copy the link and send it straight away to your students. And then how it works. For example, it is multiple choice task. You choose the right variant, or students choose it, choose. Then you come to the end of the page, click to finish, and then students usually have two options. So they can check their answers. It's if you don't need to know the results, and if you want to know the results, you say them to email their answers to you. So they click on email my answers, they fill in the form, name, class or group, subject, and here they text your email. Then they send you this list. And what is good about live worksheets? That it usually checks the answers itself. For example, you have the result here. So 1 out of 10, because I made only one, yeah. So, and it works like that. So, dear colleagues, if you're not ready to share with some activities, maybe you are ready to share with some sources, with some sites that you use. You can just, so you don't need to present them as I did, but you can just text, so write the name of the site. A great way to study language is playing computer games, quests and adventure games, of course. And now I would like some reaction. Kahoot. Who plays Kahoot? I will text it. Kahoot.com. So like that. If you don't know, you can check and see how it works and use it. Sometimes. Resh.edu.ru. So, okay, thank you. So, Alicia, can you give some comments on it, on this site, on this source?
Last year, when it was pandemic, the Russian president asked the government to make such a site for all of the students who work in distance using the cameras, the mobile phones, computers. They can just go to this website, choose any subject they want, literature, Russian, English, a lot of classes. They usually use, the best teachers of Russia. They designed their projects, they made their lessons. There is a conspect of the lesson, there is a presentation video. There are a lot of tasks already made for students in the Google, I think, multiple choice tasks with the listening and so on. We use, I use it for my students when I work in distance. I just send them videos and some of the activities, because there are a lot of activities for one work, and they do it themselves, make screenshots and put into the chat, and then we discuss and so on. But there is an idea also on this website to use it as for children, I mean students, and also for parents, for teachers. So it's just great for Russia. It was discovery for me. Yedu.ru.
So because maybe I heard about it, but I definitely don't use it. So I use different sources, but this one, okay, thank you.
There is a line we can also put there either some grammar material, just present simple, present perfect, ask for such information, or just some topic, I mean wild animals, and then we can find this information.
Okay, thank you again. Okay, great.
You're welcome.
Yeah, so again, I'm checking our resource pack. So something appeared here, but only one actually. No, any test for revision of grammar. So what kind of test for revision of? So colleagues, I switch on the screen demonstration and show. So I think like I'm failed with this resource pack, because I thought that as soon as I send you the link to this page, suddenly, with a blink of an eye, a lot of activities and with descriptions with lots of things will appear here. But now I see that, well, not many people are ready to share. So I will let you think about it. Yes, so again, this form will be open for you till the end of today. Yep, please put something here. Definitely I'll put here some activities that I like to use, and with links and with comments. So I see that now there are not too many people here. So, you know, I think I need to send you this maybe. Форму для это вот мне вопрос про форму для заполнения, наверное, мне. So once again, I'll send you the link, and maybe it will help, and you'll start working with it as soon as our meeting will be over. So wait a second. This is it. So that's it. So one more time, the link to this form, to our resource pack. So colleagues, so it is only for us actually, and we will have access to this form, and we will be able to use the links, the activities, if we really need them. That's why don't be shy. Write down anything you think you should write there. And actually, I think as there are not too many volunteers yet today to talk, but we can finish our meeting. But before we finish, I just in case will ask you again, is there anybody who'd like to say something? Not about activity, but maybe about some ideas of, I don't know, maybe further meetings. I remember that on the last meeting, I read somebody's requests about like parts of the lessons, some some demonstrations of lessons. So do you really, so say if you really need them, and maybe it's not me who's going to present these lessons, maybe there are somebody among us who'd like to share, who'd like to try to present such things, or I'll think about how I can do it. Yeah, but as I said, I feel like I failed a little because I presented a homework last lesson. Maybe somebody was wrong with the instructions. Yeah, maybe, maybe I wasn't very clear about what you need to do for today. But still, I heard some new things, and I'm definitely going to use what Alessia mentioned today. Thank you once again. And now in the chat or right here, your ideas, your questions, or maybe something that you'd like to say. You can use Russian, you can use English, so whatever. Just give us some time to discuss what we had in this 2 weeks, like in a week. So last Wednesday and this Wednesday, how do you feel about it? Do you need it? Was it useful? Maybe not. So anything you would like to say, please. Коллеги, можно смело говорить по-русски, потому что конец рабочего дня. Голова варит уже не так хорошо, как с утра. Пожалуйста, вас очень много. Наверняка есть кто-то, кто хочет что-то сказать. Хочется слышать.
I think most people keep silent because we think that the activities we use are well known and a lot of people use them. So, but I want to help Gulsaira. She asked for help for making dialogues for children. I sometimes, for young children, you can use flashcards with any pictures from any bingo picture, and they pick up a picture and ask questions, but not about the picture, but they interview each other. For example, they can ask, what is your duty about the house? What housework do you usually do? Or they can ask, do you help your mom? Any questions, yeah? If it's a Pinocchio, they can say, did you have a Pinocchio toy when you were a child? Or any other questions. And the pictures can be different about the objects, about the people, about part of body. It depends on the topic which you study. And if it's a hand, you can ask, have you ever broken your leg or hand, and the rest? So, because our children can talk, but sometimes they are short of ideas. They don't know what to talk about. So, and these flashcards, they can help them.
Yeah, and with this activity, actually, you develop this, how to say, I don't know how to formulate it. Well, yes, they are short of ideas, right? And that's why sometimes even with elder students, they say a couple of sentences and then they stop, and they can't develop the ideas. And this activity teaches them to develop them further and further. And there is another activity I know for for a bit. So you said that it is for elementary school, yeah?
Yeah,
mostly.
Secondary, not the high school, of course.
Not the high school
one, and not the little one.
But in the secondary and in high school, you can use the activities of, again, everybody knows it, but 1 minute talk on some topic. So you give the topic, I don't know, fishing. And then students need to talk for 1 minute only about fishing, but they can develop the topic, and so first they move in, so they can move in different directions. The only thing is they need to remember that they are talking about fishing, but anything about fishing and about themselves and about, I don't know, weather, whatever. 1 minute, and you teach them how to follow the limits, and you teach them how not to stop until the time is over, and lots of things. Yeah, that's very.
At the lesson, you can, you see, At the lesson, you can use the map mind. Every teacher knows, yes, this kind of activities, yes. On the text, you see, you can use the map mind. For example, it may be consists of the theme of the lesson. You see, map mind and modules, and we can use every expressions when use. Of course, without modules and without mind maps, nobody say about they can't say and they can't discuss each other. That's why yes, you are right that we can use the map mind and the modules and expressions. I can use this at the lesson. Yes, before the lesson we can we'll train we'll practice every expressions, words and word expressions. Then we will discuss. Yes, and then after the training we will use these expressions, and we make we make use of these expressions in the exercises and on the text, and then after the practicing the text, after the reading, and at the last lesson we can use and we can make up dialogues. That's you see, this will be a very nice lesson, and everybody, every student like this to work this activity.
Yeah, thank you. And Elvira, thank you very much for this thing that you mentioned, that we all think that everybody knows what we do, but not all, definitely not all people. So for example, I know lots of activities, but I forgot about many of them, and I start using only those that I think really works, and I forget to try some others. And here we have a chance to discuss it, to refresh something, and to remind ourselves or our colleagues what else can be done. Okay, anybody else? Anybody else? That's it. Okay, colleagues, thank you very much for coming. Special thank you, Олеся, again. Давайте теперь последний раз по-русски. Еще раз, смотрите, ту форму, которую я вам отправила. Ну, давайте попробуем все-таки заполнить. Вот я смотрю, что она заполняется потихонечку. Это прекрасно. Добавим туда еще несколько каких-то интересных штук. Может быть, это будут не activities, не lesson activities. Может, это будут какие-то тоже платформы, какие-то интересные ресурсы, какие-то вообще, может быть, отдельные прямо мини-разработочки, которыми вы там готовы поделиться. Еще раз, до конца дня сайт, ну, в смысле, ссылка работает, потом я ее закрываю, выгружаю и отправляю Ирине для выставления на сайт вместе с презентацией. Все линки, которые есть в презентации, все ссылки, простите, которые есть в презентации, они тоже будут на сайте, и вы все увидите, все можете посмотреть. Вот. А если кому-то интересно мне написать и задать какой-то вопрос, мой адрес в форме в самой первой строчечке. Вот. Если что, пишите. Thank you very much for coming.
Спасибо за урок. Thank you for
Спасибо большое.
Это не урок. Это не урок.
Yes, exchanging your techniques, methods.
Yeah. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Так, мне кажется, что
это
не
лекция,
это не лекция, а это, значит, обмен опытами. Это надо было говорить.
Конечно,
это обмен опытами, да. Это не лекция, да, получается.
Это ни в коем случае не урок, не лекция, а именно была идея, чтобы мы...
Обмен, да, значит, мнение, да, обмен опытом, да.
Окей. Итак, у меня сейчас обращение к организаторам конференции. Мы закончились. Я вижу ваше see you next Wednesday. Yes, see you next Wednesday, but it's going to be another very, very interesting webinar. It is going to be about conflicts, and I have already registered for this webinar. And it's going to be really interesting. Please, you need to come, because yeah, the topic is interesting. It is one of my colleagues is going to lead it, and yeah, I'm going to participate because I think it's extremely useful for those who work at school, for teachers, for managers, for everybody. So yes, definitely see you next Wednesday, but as a participant. I'm going to be a participant. So, and everybody, please come next Wednesday to... So, Ирина, как называется на следующей неделе про конфликт вебинар?
Сейчас я вам подскажу. Подождите, пожалуйста, чтобы вас
Про
не
разрешение
отвлечь.
конфликта что-то у нас, да?
Да. Сейчас я вам точно скажу. Время. Следующий вебинар у нас на тему «Семинар практикум. Как разрешить конфликт». Это в следующую среду, 2 февраля, в 3 часа начала. На нашем сайте в разделе «ПрофСреда» есть ссылочка для того, чтобы пройти регистрацию. Нужно это сделать. Мы обязательно вам напомним заранее, что вы записались на данный вебинар, чтобы вы не забыли в потоке событий. Вот, пожалуйста, заходите на наш сайт. Ссылочка выше в чате. Посмотрите, пожалуйста, что вам будет интересно.
Да, коллеги, прям сильно рекомендую следующую среду вам. Она будет интересна, но, опять же, там надо будет работать. Там просто слушать не получится.
Опять опыт, да? Опыт,
Да. Ну, не то, что обмен опытом, там прямо кейсовые какие-то там задачи. Там будет интересно.
Спасибо.
Ага. Ирина, и вот в чате еще спрашивают.
Вижу. Вот как раз-таки все ссылочки на видеозаписи у нас на сайте находятся. Я вам сейчас еще раз это сообщение продублирую. Ничего страшного, что пропустили. Мы специально все выставляем. Вот, я вам ответила. Заходите, пожалуйста, смотрите.
Ирина, ну и сегодняшнюю презентацию, она малюсенькая совсем, но презентацию, вот этот вот список я пришлю вам.
Хорошо.
Попозже, потому что пока еще я надеюсь, что там появится больше информации.
Я поняла, я слушала.
Да.
Ну все, будем ждать.
Все, тогда еще раз спасибо.
Спасибо, Ирина.
Спасибо большое. Вам спасибо за участие.